Once Lucy hardware has been installed, it's time to set up Lucy Core software. This software adapts and tunes the wheelchair responses to our rider's unique capabilities. Go to mylucy.com to log into your account. Once the PIN has been entered, you will find yourself on the home screen for Lucy Core software. This will show information about the wheelchair you are setting up. You may add system notes, for example, information like the joystick is mounted on the left side. Please note that this information will travel with the wheelchair, and riders may see information you put in this field. You can also see here that the system is in good shape. All our system health checks are going well. If you're getting ready to set up a new rider, you won't stay on this screen very long. You'll click on the Set Up New User tab in the center of the screen near the top. The first thing you're going to do is select a LucyLink wheelchair key. This personal wheelchair key allows Lucy to access the rider's information. To connect, check the code on the back of the LucyLink wheelchair key and select the matching code. If the code on the LucyLink wheelchair key does not appear below, refresh your browser. You will only be able to make changes to Lucy Core software when the rider's LucyLink wheelchair key is present. Lucy uses cutting-edge security to make sure the behavior of the chair only changes if the rider and their personal LucyLink wheelchair key are present. In this case, Lucy sees two rider keys in the vicinity, so you'll need to look on the back of the actual LucyLink wheelchair key to match the number you want to set up. When you get to this screen, we've added text to help you tell the rider more about Lucy, how it helps them navigate their world. You can use the text on screen as a script, but basically, it lets them know that Lucy will help them avoid collisions and avoid conditions that might lead to tipping. It turns their power wheelchair into a smart, connected device. In the next few minutes, you, with the rider's help, will tune Lucy to work with the wheelchair and the rider's unique abilities. Lucy collects information and securely and wirelessly transmits it. This information allows them to send alerts and view their data online. In addition, anonymized data from all Lucy chairs is used for continuous improvement and to assist in valuable wheelchair research studies. It's one of the reasons Lucy was created, to create and provide secure access to encrypted, privacy-protected data that can spark innovation in this field. Next, you will need to confirm that the rider is over the age of 13. If so, click that button to proceed. But let's go back for just a minute. If the rider is under the age of 13, the software will pop up with a form to say that parental consent is required for riders under the age of 13. The parent and rider must sign the linked agreement. If you click this, it will open a new tab that can be emailed or printed so that they can officially consent. This brings us to the Lucy Terms and Conditions. Please review these with the rider. If you have a printout, please provide it to them. If not, you may want to hand your device to the rider to go through these at their own pace. When they get to the bottom of the terms and conditions, there is an acceptance button that is required before we can continue. Lucy encrypts their data at rest and in transit. While we are securely logged in, we need to get some personal information. Their name, phone number for text alerts, and weight, which is used by Lucy to calculate stability. Also, input the rider's email and home address at this time. The next step requires a tape measure. Lucy uses the seating measurements to help manage stability and keep the chair from running into things. Please enter the measurements below for back support height, seat depth, seat width, seat to foot support, and foot support depth. As we begin the configuration intro, the text on screen should be read aloud to the rider. We want them to know that our Lucy Core software will communicate with their personal LucyLink key. It was designed to attach to the LucyLink hub, but can also be attached wherever they want. That's why we made it a carabiner. As part of our commitment to rider security, In the absence of that key, their configuration data cannot be changed. Lucy makes the wheelchair work better for riders. It does that by calibrating the chair to them. At this time, the rider will perform certain tasks to calibrate the chair to their abilities. We have provided on-screen notes in the next section for hints on how to best assist the rider. Before we begin calibration, Lucy needs to know if this chair is directed with a joystick or an alternative drive. You will see there are several to choose from. Next, we need to calibrate the input device. Make sure to read through this script and position the screen where the rider can see it. Lucy will make sure that the chair doesn't move during this process. The first thing the rider will be asked to do is move, in this case the joystick, as far forward as possible. They will have 10 seconds to do that. Lucy will make sure that the chair doesn't move during this process. The next steps will be to repeat the process, going back, then to the left, and finally to the right. In some cases, the rider may have difficulty seeing the screen. It's okay to prompt the rider when to drive in each direction. At this stage, we are testing for unique range of motion and the individual way they move. If you need to redo any of those directions, you can by clicking any direction on this graphic, or you can redo all of them by clicking in the middle. When this step is complete, click Next. We're going to capture the rider's reaction time now. Make sure to read through the instructions with the rider. Have them watch the 4 lights on the dashboard. When the lights flash on, they need to drive forward. Lucy will be measuring the time it takes between lights coming on and the movement of the joystick or other input device. Once reaction time has been calibrated, you can move on to the next step. The override button allows riders to override any attempt by Lucy to stop motion. Once the override button is pushed, the rider is free to move in any direction they desire. While it ensures full independence, it can also be dangerous. This screen offers the opportunity to limit speeds in each direction while in override. Lucy's default override speed is 50% in each direction. However, the speeds during override can be manipulated here. If you are working with a young child or someone who would be helped by full intervention, you can abolish the override by setting each speed at 0. Congratulations! You have installed LucyCore software and activated their personal LucyLink wheelchair key. The rider will now receive an email that will allow them to set up their portal where they can manage their support team access and alerts. While you are with the rider, please help them input the information so their chair will connect to the Wi-Fi network at their home, their office, or clinic. You should also talk through the audio and visual alerts with the rider and set their volume to the rider's and caregiver's preferences. If you ever need to log into a chair that has already been set up to do maintenance or troubleshooting, you can run a self-test or view a system log here. If you need to adjust the system for a rider, you can find that button on the top right area of the screen, and it will take you to the specific steps of the setup process. When you're done, simply click the power symbol and disconnect.